Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to The Back Road, the only podcast comfortable taking the scenic route while we discuss business, marketing, creativity, and life itself. If you're looking to grow your brand, build your audience, or find your perspective, then stick around because Coach Ethan is in the building. Joining me today is Greg Poulin. Greg and I grew up together in the woods of small-town Jackman, Maine, and today he's building a brand that is still fresh to the world of videography and photography, with a keen eye and an impressive momentum as he finds his footing as a creative for hire. Give a quick hello, Greg.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Nailed it. Coming up on The Back Road, we'll share some stories about how growing up in a small town feels like being, politely suggested to give up on your dreams. We'll talk your ear off about what it actually means to grow on purpose. And I'll finally ask myself the questions I wish I had asked years before I knew what the hell I was doing. All of that and more just around the corner. Today's theme is evolving, or more specifically, changing course in a full U-turn style in order to improve your life into one you actually want to wake up in the morning for. There comes a point in the life of every creative person when the road you are on does not align with the person you are. That gap can feel terrifying, exciting, or both, but it always asks the same question. Are you brave enough to pivot towards something that actually fits you? Today, we're unpacking what it means to recognize that moment, how to listen to it, and why choosing a new direction can be the smartest move you ever make. But before we get too deep into that terrain, at this juncture, let us take a minute to talk more with Greg Poulin. Tell me about yourself, bud.
I'm a machinist. I just recently got into videography because I'm just wanting to be more who I am, and just enjoy what I do day to day a little bit more. And
machinist, what does that mean?
Well, it's kind of a loaded question, but in short, I put a piece of metal in a vise, hit a button on the machine, and pull something useful out of it.
Pull something useful out of it. I did a commercial series for a company that made ball joint bearings. Is that a thing? That sounds right. Something like that. Some ball joint bearing adjacent.
Yeah.
And I filmed all kinds of that stuff. That's a hell of a world, man. It's really cool to watch all those robots doing their thing. But what part do you play in machining?
I'm a CNC mill guy. We make stuff for, electrical companies, medical companies, communication companies. We make a lot of stuff for the food industry as well.
Oh, that's cool.
They just give me a print and I make it. Half the things I don't even know what they are, to be honest.
See, I just learned that machinist wasn't specific to like welding and metal. It sounds like you're all what you do. I mean, what do you make for the food industry? Like, are you mass producing tacos?
No, we make a lot of parts for machines that handle food in the food industry. Like I make these one parts called what are they called? They're called blade pins. They hold these little blades on the inside of like a ice cream auger, and they scrape the ice cream off the inside of the tub.
Cool.
So we make parts for things in the food industry.
That's cool. One of my favorite questions I used to ask the guys when I did that commercial was, how many of these specific parts are you pushing out per day?
It depends on the job. It's sometimes I'll run 50 parts in a day. Some day I'll run 700 in a day. It depends on what it is.
Cool. That's cool, honestly.
It varies. It's a bit of the same, but it changes enough to keep it fresh,
Yeah, that makes sense. I want to call back a little bit to episode 35. I talked a lot about how I would find more value in an employee or a contractor that I hire if they know how to troubleshoot. Like, I'd rather somebody know how to troubleshoot more than know how to like avoid a mistake. Has that come into play at your
you're troubleshooting with machining like every other day, basically, because there's a lot of things that we follow the same procedure or whatever, but there are some things with machining that just make you stare at it and scratch your head, and you have to troubleshoot a lot, honestly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, troubleshooting is a huge part of video and photo. Like, I mean, you're consistently walking into a new environment with new lighting and new people and new shade and new tones, and so like having to always know what setting to do, and if you don't, like knowing how to figure it out, like that's a huge skill to have. And I think it's one that when you sharpen it in one industry, you sharpen it in all industries. Like you don't become better at troubleshooting that machine, you become better at troubleshooting in anything. Yeah, it's almost like learning how to play piano is the best instrument to start learning music on, because it means that you can probably play any instrument after that. Like you can kind of like
translate.
Yeah, translates really easily. And so how has starting as a videographer and photographer and like just entering the industry, like how much troubleshooting are you doing, and like do you have any tips and tricks? Because not everybody knows how to troubleshoot.
No tips and tricks yet, because I'm still learning the tips and tricks, to be honest. But I definitely have had to troubleshoot already. Like, like the first property I did of the 2 real estate properties I've done so far, it was not so well lit, like with natural light. It was a pretty closed-in house in terms of like windows and whatnot, so I had to really kind of work around the darker lighting in comparison to the second property I did, which was bright, clear as day throughout the whole thing, so I kind of had to work around that a little bit.
Let me ask, how long have you been doing videos? You started as a machinist. How long ago was your decision, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to see how far I can go? Was it like a few months?
Yeah, about that. I mean, I've been doing video and stuff on and off since high school. I mean, we did it together a little bit, but I never really like got a little bit more serious about it. But now I like to create stuff, man. And while I like machining, this type of stuff is what I want to be doing more so. It's more along the lines of who I am,
Yeah.
I'm a musician. I play guitar. I love tattoos. I like art, so I just like making stuff, like to create,
Yeah, that's incredible. And on that note, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. Growing up as the creative kid in a world that believed you weren't working hard unless your muscles were cramped at night was a pretty strange experience. I could feel ideas bubbling up in my head like a shaken soda can, and if I ever tried to express them, most people got scared off like I was trying to drag them into a Ponzi scheme. But I know it wasn't mean-spirited, it was just foreign to them. They didn't get it, right? The teachers, the classmates, the guardians, the mentors, they didn't know how to encourage what they didn't understand. So Greg, we grew up together a few years apart, and we had kind of the same interest in videography. Do you feel like you had the same experience as me?
I do, but I didn't really realize that phenomenon until I got older.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I'm writing this at 31. Yeah, I just figured this out.
Yeah, no, it just dawned on me, like, people scoff at doing anything that's out of the ordinary or not the standard 9 to 5. And I mean, I'm not going to say names, but I have somebody I may or not work with who, when I started playing in a band, they said, well, what are you going to do with that? And I'm just thinking to myself, you're not happy. Like, who are you to tell me that? Like, you know what I mean? So I've definitely seen what you're talking about a bit.
Yeah, I think we call that projection, right? They're afraid, therefore they're making you be afraid. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I remember when we were coming up, like we were 4 years apart. I think I was a senior, you were a freshman.
Yeah.
Right. And so we didn't necessarily hang out in the same circles, but we were definitely around each other because it was a small town.
Right.
It was like 50 kids in the high school. But I feel like one of the moments I remember the most is when you released this like snowmobile video edit. It was like we had always kind of vibed on like, oh, I got a new camera. I got to go. I remember the flip. That was a huge awesome thing for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I remember.
We had so many like conversations around video or editing or what software we're using, and I feel like that was the first time, because you were 4 years behind me, that I went, oh, he just unlocked potential. Like, I'd seen stuff you did before, and it was really base level editing, but you did think there was like motion graphics. There was a lot of intention into the music playing out. Like, I felt like even the whole sound design was produced, even though it probably wasn't. Like, but you had an ear, you had an eye, and I felt like I was really impressed when I watched that.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that. What do you remember about it being?
That video, I was so proud of that video. It took me an entire winter to make, and like the whole entire winter, our pretty much everything thawed us. Like, I blew up my sled, Chandler blew his brakes. I'm pretty sure he blew his sled at one point. Tyler blew his sled up at one point. It was rainy all winter. It was just trying to get the good footage was just a pain. So when it finally came together, it was so satisfying. And I like how you mentioned the motion graphics, because that was the first time I ever done that before, and that really I was really stoked about how those came out.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of motion graphics. I always used to use templates, and I never understood why people were like, "Oh, you need to do more." Or, like, I just always thought they looked cheesy unless they were a movie. So I never really wanted to attempt them. It wasn't until I started working commercials and TV when there were people giving me money or giving the company I was working for money to be like, "Hey, I want to be in space," and I'm like,
Yeah.
How am I going to do that on $4,000? Like, how am I going to do that?"
Yeah.
And then we do it, and all of a sudden we'd like have a silly green screen, and we have to reshoot it, and then giving the no gravity effect, like, that's a hell of an experience.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But at the end of the day, we do it.
It's funny because that video, it took me all winter long to make. How much money and gas and snowmobile parts and blah 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 blah, and it got like 6,000 views. And
This is on
that's like
YouTube, right?
Huh?
This is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is not. I still don't have like an intentional 6,000 view video on YouTube. Like, they're all by accidents. That's not to say I'm not bad at YouTube. I'm really good at TikTok, and I'm trying to do better at YouTube.
I gotta get into that.
But 6,000 views on YouTube back in 2012 would have been huge.
It was, and it felt huge. But then I made a video compilation of all the fails from that video. It took me 20 minutes to make. 20 minutes. I threw it on YouTube, and it's got 600,000 views on it right now.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
It's unreal.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I made like $1,200 off that video. It took me 20 minutes to throw together.
And you were monetized. Oh, back when when the monetization restraints were way less.
Was way little. Yeah, way less, yeah.
Wow. That's friggin' cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never made a dime from YouTube, if it makes it feel...
Oh, I'm not monetized no more.
Oh, yeah. I was monetized for a period of time, but I didn't make a lot of money. Like, I think we all were. It was such an easy choice.
Yeah, just click it.
And then it was, then it was
click
like,
the button.
yeah, you want to make free money? You're like, yeah. Oh, I have to do things.
It actually takes work to make money on YouTube. Wow.
Yeah. I feel like one of the things with Jackman, kind of the same way to YouTube is like it's discouraging and encouraging at the same time. I feel like growing up in conservative Jackman, the small town, like not conservative politically, but conservative, like keeping your cards close to your chest, like being more pessimistic than optimistic, like that. There's just kind of a little bit of a mindset in a small town.
Yeah.
And I feel like the result is for creative people, when you grow up with an interest in like video and photo or music or art or poetry or writing, you know what I mean? Something that's just artistic, acting, pick your poison. I feel like where most places on the planet would be like, you should pursue your dreams first and know that you have a fallback. I almost feel like small town vibes encourages the opposite of like solidify your fallback first and then pursue your dreams second. Like and that blows my mind that I grew up that way. Like,
so it's funny that you say that because that's what I did pretty much.
Yeah.
I went to school to be a machinist, and now I'm doing that while I work on what I really want to do.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you, was because I feel like we were both video photo centric. We definitely both had our styles and energies. Like, I'm not a skateboarder at all. Like, a lot of your footage was skateboarding. Like, two different crowds. I was alone vlogging in my room. You were out making live events. Like, you did. It was a completely different ballgame. But at the end of the day, like, it was still kind of the same interest, and it's still growing up in the same place. And it's almost an interesting case study of like, I'm so thankful that I grew up as stubborn as I am, because like I was interested in storytelling. Videography was my medium of choice. And I told everyone, and I went and I was like, this is how I'm doing it. I'm going to film school. I'm doing 4 years. I'm focusing on my portfolio before my degree. Like, I'm going to network. Like, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to be the biggest wedding videographer in the state by like 2030. Like that like, this is my life path. Like, and I have just followed it.
And that's awesome, man. I mean, you're great at it, and you're going to continue to be great at it. And I don't see why you wouldn't be one of the biggest by 2030 at the rate you're going.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, dude.
And it's also opened up so many doors of like I moved in again. I didn't expect to go into marketing as early as I did. I expected that to be like after the wedding. So if like then I'll expand. I didn't expect those things to happen simultaneously. I wanted my TikTok followers, but like I didn't expect it to happen simultaneously. Like what I set out to accomplish because I was so spearheaded, I accomplished most of my goals really early, and I keep having to make new goals. And so like that's kind of where I'm in, is like I'm in a transition phase now over 10 years out of high school going, oh, I need to expand my company. I need to do some new stuff. I need to grow. And you're at a place where you didn't have that support and you or the I guess the conviction early on. You didn't have the confidence probably to move forward with that, and that's probably instilled by the small town. And you went to,
confidence.
and you did your backup plan first. And so, yeah, I want you to tell me about that experience for you, because like I actually don't have that experience. I was spearheaded. I was a steamroller. I knew what I wanted and I went there.
Even like my parents always said, do the secure thing first and whatnot. And like, I always knew when I was little that I wanted to do something different. Like I've gone through so many different like, oh, I want to do this when I get older. I want to do this. Like I went from wanting to be a snowboarder, then I wanted to be a rapper, and then I got into music. I didn't have. You're right. I didn't have the confidence back in the day, and now that I've done things and done them successfully, now I want to spearhead them because now I feel confident that I can do it, and I know I'll do it because I'll make it happen. Basically,
yeah. So what was your plan after high school? Like when you got out of high school, what was the, like, go back to when you were 18. What was the plan?
So my plan when I got out of high school, pretty much right when I got into college, I immediately started focusing on playing in bands and getting better at guitar. And I mean, I started playing guitar like 2 years before I got to high school, and then in like, I don't know, 5 years after that, I was playing shows and we had some music released. So like, I know that I can like focus and get things done when I really, spearhead them, like you said.
And you did machining, you went to school for the thing and you got the job doing the thing.
Yeah.
And you had your creative outlets on the side.
The creative outlets were on the side, but like all I did was machine and guitar from like right out of high school or right into college until like 2 years ago, basically. And now I'm kind of shifting gears a bit because I'm like, while I love playing guitar, this is way more lucrative than being a musician in 2025.
I would encourage you to reframe your like bouncing around from art forms and like picking up new hobbies of like, dude, my brother is a jack of all trades. He can do carpentry, he can do electric, he can do HVAC, he can do plumbing if he had to, doesn't want to, he can paint, he can reseal a driveway, he can work on trucks. Mm-hmm. Incredible genius human being, right? But he's a jack of all trades. It's like accepted. You're a jack of all hobbies, or you're a jack of all arts. Like I'm a jack of all visual like mediums, like video, photo, graphic, motion graphic, even script writing falls into that category, writing, like content creation, marketing, commercials, like podcasts, like this is, I'm a jack of all video.
Right.
And so like, I wouldn't beat yourself up about collecting all these hobbies. It sounds like they're kind of creating you into like this mastermind of like a multifaceted machine.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I look at it, sort of, because like, videography and photography ties right into being a musician, of course. That's why I kind of got into the photography and videography thing now, because like the music passion kind of burnt me out from that. So, and then when I didn't have any sort of art, sort of creative outlet, I was like feeling like something was missing. So then that's where the photography and videography comes in, because I mean, it's great. It's fun to have a great time doing it,
Yeah. Well, let's get there next. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So let's just get into this week's Earful. Today's Earful circles around a simple truth. When a creative person is not creative, they start to dry out like a houseplant in a vacation home. You can water it regularly with responsible choices, but nothing replaces the feeling of doing the thing you were built to do. And today we are talking about what happens when someone finally decides to listen to that calling. So how has the last 10 years since graduating high school been for you, Greg?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, but I mean it's been pretty good, dude. I just been exploring my different hobbies as we touched on earlier. I wanted to say one thing real quick about what you just said. About how like dries your soul out like a house plant. I was just talking to my buddy Mark about this. He was in the band with me. He said it's like when you're in a band, it sucks. The whole time you're bitching about it. You're like, this is dumb. This is stupid. I'm wasting all my money to lose money. Why am I doing this? But then when you're not in the band, you're like, something's missing. What is it?
The military has a term for that.
What's that?
Embrace the suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think I have an episode about this a while ago. You can find it. We did a short film. We filmed it in the middle of winter, February, 16 days, cold. Most of it took place outside at night. Even did a fight scene in 16 inches of a blizzard. Like, it was crazy. God. And it was like the worst, hardest, most aggressive time of my entire life. I'm driving my co-director back to New Hampshire. We're on like winter break. We have one more day before we have to go back to school. And he was like, man, that was hard. And I was like, yeah. And we're like 2 hours into a 5-hour drive. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know either, dude. That was insane. I can't believe we did that either.
Yeah.
I'd do it again tomorrow, though. Oh, I'd do it again tomorrow. like I would do it again. You know, yeah. Embrace the suck. It's like you end up, you experience that thing, and then you just want it all the time, and it's just really a high pressure output.
You gotta love it relentlessly.
What was the defining moment that made you pursue video and photo again? I mean, you were doing music, and you know, as your calling, and then you're suddenly you're pivoting a little bit to video and photo. What made that happen?
Buying a drone is what got me like revived into video and media.
What made you invest back into that? Why would you, like, why out of nowhere did you buy a drone?
So it's funny. I'm a reseller. Well, I haven't been doing it for a little bit. I've been kind of focusing on other things, but I'm in a couple resale groups on Discord, and they posted a price error drone. It was like a cheap toy drone for like $5 one day, and I was like, $5, whatever. Yeah, I'll try it. So I bought it. Immediately when I flew that thing, I was like a little kid. I was so excited, and it was a piece of shit. So it didn't like transmit the video to the phone or nothing. So I was like, all right, time to get a drone that actually works. Then I bought a mini 4K, and I had that for 2 weeks, and then I sold it to Thomas and bought the Air because I was like, I love this.
Have people been supportive of you?
Oh yeah, for 100%.
Yeah. What's that like? I mean, being around, you know, growing up completely misunderstood, but not being able to talk to 99% of people about what you do, versus now having like a group of people that are rooting for you. Tell me.
I guess, I mean, people are always rooting for me in the band thing too, but it's a lot easier for people to accept and get the photography thing, because in the band I played, you know, deathcore, like heavy metal, you know, that not everyone jives with. So like a lot of people look at that and they're like, why do you like that? And it's like, I don't even know. I can't even tell you why I like it. I just like it. But it's a lot easier for people to enjoy photos I take than the metal that I play, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I see a lot more vocal response to the photos, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Photos and drone stuff.
How's your momentum been since you started?
I mean, pretty fast. So I got the drone in August, and then I bought the camera the following month. And since then, I've done 2 real estate properties, like 3 regular photo shoots. I was second shooter with you at a wedding.
I got to talk about that wedding that you worked for me. So a big theme of the last episode of the podcast, episode 35, Evolving, was that the veterans who have worked for me for like more than 3 years, like 4, 5, 6 years, some of these people, shooting weddings for me, shooting commercials for me, working with me, you know, the rookies outperformed them like unbelievably, and you're one of those people. And you impressed me. Like we look at the footage of some of the guys who've been shooting this at us or with us forever, and their footage is great. The color's perfect, technically perfect, in focus, properly exposed, like looks incredible. But there's like something missing because an unknown, unexpected variable that they didn't see coming showed up, and they weren't prepared for it because they were so confident. Like they didn't have to look at the logistics more than once to understand what the whole wedding was going to look like. Therefore, they never saw that the time changed. They never went back and double checked the night prior because they felt confident. And it's like most people would do that, and they'll only make that mistake once.
Right.
But you know who isn't making that mistake? The rookie who is like feels like he's in over his head and is going to read that document until he's got it memorized, and he's probably going to triple check it on the way. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That was me. I was thinking of every possible scenario that was going to play out on my drive over there.
How do you feel like it went? Like, I want to tell people, like, I put trust in you. I didn't just put you in blind. Like, I could have shot that wedding specifically. All the logistics were so easy. I could have done it myself. Right. And so bringing you along was more of like a training opportunity. And so, yeah, tell me about how that experience was for you.
I thought it was great. The only time I really was like, holy shit, was when you handed me the gimbal the first time, and I'd never used one before, and I was just like, what do I do? But then once I figured that out, it wasn't too bad, and I was more or less just in my head than anything. Like there are a couple times where I was like, oh, I don't know if that shot was that good, but it probably was. I was probably just like, overthinking it. So I think it went great.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've seen the footage now that the way you're talking.
I've been trying to keep that a secret. You've asked me, you've been hounding me if the footage was good, but I was like, no, I want Greg on the podcast so I can tell him that it was great. Like I can literally watch you through the course of the day, find your confidence, find your voice. Like your first couple shots, obviously, they're kind of crap.
Yeah, I know.
But I knew that, and that's why I shot it anyway. Like I shot it and left, and then I said, here, shoot it again. You know what I mean? And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, you've done this a couple times now. Here's the gimbal, right? Because the gimbal's the thing that makes people fall in love with videography the same way a drone does. Like you hand that in someone's hand, and like, oh my God, it's staying still. Look at this. Yeah. And they're fascinated by it. And so like I knew that by just having the passion and the hunger to like learn more, if I put anything in your hands, you were going to figure it out and you were going to improve. And the footage just reciprocates that. Like it is from start to finish of that day, I watch your composition go from like questionable to like really solid to like really artistic. And so
I love that. I'm stoked to hear that. I was really nervous. I was like, I can't wait till he watches that damn footage because I want to know how I did.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you to see it. We won't have that edited for another few weeks, but I ripped at the footage because I had to download it. I'm kind of curious what are the things that you've learned specific to video? Like technically, what are the things that jumped you up?
Not quite with just video, more so photos, but like I understand the exposure triangle a whole lot more these days than I did a couple months ago.
One of the hardest things to know. It's truly reciprocity and the triangle of exposure. Yeah, is insane.
You taught me that ND filters are like unarguable. You cannot not have one.
Yeah, I went like 6 years and tried not to use polar NDs, and then I just put them on, and it is basically the professional's solution to reciprocity of like you get the menu settings roughly where you want them, and then you have a fourth option.
Dude,
it makes it way easier to control.
Yeah. Since I got that, I'm tenfold more confident in my photo taking abilities.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. Like the variable ND filters, how much a difference they make.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're thinking about starting photography and videography at home, ND filters. It's like driving a car without the friggin' steering wheel. It's like driving a truck without headlights at night. Like you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot and asking for an accident.
Because for a while I was trying to avoid. I was like, okay, I don't need to spend $100 on 2 filters. I'll be fine. Stubborn son of a bitch. So then I shot my friend and her kids or shot some photos for my friend and her kids at the Cape Elizabeth Lighthouse, and it was bright as could be. And like I salvaged it and got her great photos, but like I took a lot in order to make that happen. So now I'm way more refined with the filter because I can not have to fight the sun so bad, you know?
Yeah, the sun is brutal. Do you wish you had pursued this earlier?
Yes, because I could be further along in it. But at the end of the day, my current career has done me pretty well. You know, I mean, it has given me the ability to be able to afford this camera equipment. You know, I bought 3 drones in the last 3 months and a lot more shit than that. And basically, without it, I don't know if I'd be able to pursue this as much.
Yeah.
So I think I'd have it the same way, probably.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really refreshing take. I haven't heard someone say that in a while. It's a very humble answer. What are the myths about the industry? It's my last question of the segment. What are the myths that you've discovered or you've debunked?
Yeah, there is a lot of people that say that, oh, you want to get into real estate photography, you want to do this and that, you're not going to make any money, it's so saturated. Well, then you got to make yourself stick out, you know? You can make money, you just have to be creative with it, and you have to make people see your worth over the 7,000 other people that are trying to do the same thing.
That leads me to a follow-up question. So last question, part B. What is your market cornering position? Your market cornering position is the thing that you do better than anybody else. And it doesn't have to be technical. It can be like the emotion that you dedicate, you know what I mean? The attention you give. What separates Greg Poulin?
Yeah, I guess I'm attentive to detail, and I'm more anal than most people would be. And like the realtor that I did these for, she said that her previous person would be in and out of that place and done photos and videos and everything in like a half hour. And I'm like, you can't do this good in a half hour. Not this good. I'm saying you can't do this job well in a half hour. That's just, they're going to be shitty, generic Craigslist iPhone photos. You know, just paying attention to detail, and I'm anal. I'm anal. That's what it is. I'm anal.
We'll have to figure out a slogan that says anal in it. Just like Greg Poulin, as anal as they come. All right. Well, we're almost out of the woods, but we're not there yet. Let's take a detour. I've got Q's and Greg's got A's. So let's comfort our curiosity no matter how deep, dark, or dense. Today, I am asking Greg the questions I wish I had asked myself back when I had no clue what I was doing. Consider this segment a public service to my younger self. Greg, what fear has held you back the longest?
Failure. I have written a song about how the fear of failure can hold you back. Actually, it's one of the few songs that we released as a band. And what that fear of failure does to your soul and mind.
What do you want your work to stand for?
I want it to show that I care. You know, I care about what I'm doing. I care about what the person wants. Whether it's real estate, concerts, whenever I get into that, just a regular family photo shoot. I just want people to know that I'm attentive and I care. They're not just a paycheck.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, obviously we're all doing everything we do to make money, but it's not just that. I want people to know that I'm passionate about it. You know, I'm attentive.
Yeah.
I want you to be happy with the work that I give you.
Yeah. I mean, if I may, attention is one of the most valuable commodities, and it's so overlooked.
100%.
Like, the most valuable thing you can give somebody is your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is the goal that you are too afraid to believe in or say out loud?
No, I guess I'm not necessarily afraid to say it out loud, but I'm I'm just nervous. I would like to make media full-time one day, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I want to do. Whether it's real estate, advertising, regular photography, or all of it. I mean, preferably all of it, because if you have more niches, the better off you're going to be, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. You got anything? For me, when I was growing up, I always told my parents, and I told everybody that asked, like, oh, I'm going to start a wedding videography company because it's the easy route. Like that. and because I didn't believe that I could go into filmmaking. Like, I didn't believe that I had the capacity to like tell a cohesive story. I didn't believe I had the ability to shoot it. I didn't believe in my editing skills. Like I didn't think I had it. And I would have not believed I could do that until I was like a senior in college, when all of a sudden I was looking around and I was like, dude, there's like 3 of us dominating this class. Everyone else doesn't understand what's going on. Like, and one of the most rudimentary things you learn in videography is the white balance. It's like you learn that day one. You need to know what your lighting is before you choose what lighting setting to use. And we're seniors, and there's still people walking around not knowing what white balance to use. It's like, dude, this is day one stuff. And so we kind of realized like we had a lot of opportunity as the I don't want to say that as the best, definitely not the best students, but probably the people with the best portfolios. And so we made that short film, that 16-minute short film. Like that was shot my senior year of college. Like I did the thing that I never imagined I would be capable of doing by the time I had graduated college. And so 4 years was all it took for me to accomplish like a lifelong dream.
Okay, so yeah, I'll touch on that. Like playing in a band, you know, on when I got out of high school, when I got out of high school, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start playing guitar, and I want to at least play a show by like my mid-20s or whatever. And I did. We didn't get famous or nothing, but we released a few songs, and I played a couple shows, and I did it. You know, I did the thing I wanted to do. I've seen countless concerts throughout high school. And always wanted to see what it felt like to do that, and I just did it because I wanted to do it. And you did what you did because you wanted to do it, and you don't give yourself excuses.
You know? So what is that dream for video? It being fully self-employed, fully self-sufficient with this one day? Or at least doing it full-time?
Yeah. Whether it's self-sufficient, I would like a lot of it to be self-sufficient, but I know a lot of video stuff, you do work with a lot of people, whether it's in collaboration with other companies or subcontract work like you do to other people. So like I'm not opposed to working for people, but at the end of the day, I would prefer to be primarily my own boss. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Greg, for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I'm glad. Happy to be here. Glad you had me.
Thank you for walking the back road with us. The end of this journey has come, but with 36 episodes behind us and many more ahead of us, there's plenty more to digest. I want to open the floor to you, Greg. Let the people know where they can find you and what you've got going on.
So if you want to check out any of my work, you can check me out on YouTube, FormRider97, or on Instagram at FramedByGP. Yeah, you can check me out there. I'm still working on building it up a little bit more. But yeah.
Awesome, man. I really hope that people go check you out. If they're in Maine, they hire you. Don't forget to follow Northern Oak Media on social media. And if you have any questions for you or your brand, email me, ethan@northernoakmedia.com. Catch new episodes of The Back Road every other Wednesday at noon, wherever podcasts are found. And remember, you can get there from here.
I bought a camera, 3 lenses. Hold on, I'm on a podcast.